I think it's a tough decision when you're 18 to make a career choice when you're so young, because that's what you do in college is kind of what most people think they're going to be doing for the rest of their lives. So it's a pretty big decision. It's a huge commitment.
I agree. I think that if I would have gone back, I would have concentrated more and trying to look more into what colleges had to offer major-wise, because I changed my mind quite a few times, and I wish I would have had a more in-depth look so I could feel more prepared when I came into college.
When I was in high school, I actually had no idea what I wanted to do, and I had no sense of direction whatsoever. And when I first came to college, it was whatever my parents wanted. They wanted me to do medicine, and so I just stepped right into like pre-med and absolutely did horrible.
When coming to college, students have many options to apply for financial aid. It all begins with one form, and that's the Federal Financial Aid Form called the FAFSA, and students are required to fill that form out online. This form asks income information from the previous tax year, and we encourage all students to fill out a FAFSA. Many of them have no idea how much aid they might be eligible for, and this form tells the school that they're attending how much aid that they could be eligible for that next academic year. Well, a high school student graduating cannot complete the FAFSA until January of their senior year. FAFSA comes out on January 1 of each year. And so a student needs to talk to their parents, find out when their tax information is going to be available. And then our priority deadline to apply for the financial aid in the state of Kentucky is March 15th.
I started pretty early. Like I started thinking about it freshman, sophomore year. I took the ACT when I was a sophomore for the first time. I took it 3 times after that, and I wanted to do music, so I kind of focused a whole lot on that. So I spent a lot of time practicing and studying because I wanted to go to school for music.
I think that the ACT is a very important aspect of getting into college. I think too many students that are in high school just want to blow it off and not prepare for it early, but I think in the long run it's important to take it as many times as you can. Start sophomore year if you can to take the ACT. The higher your score, you know, you're going to get a great scholarship. You could get a full ride here on your ACT score alone.
Very few people coming out of high school know what they want to do when they grow up. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I don't know what I want to do when I grow up either. To think that you're supposed to know what you want to do is crazy. It's just not going to happen. I think what you need to do as a parent and as a student is just take a deep breath and relax and not try too hard to force something to happen.
I think there was a lot of me that never really got over after I graduated high school that I could stay up all night and do whatever I wanted. And it took me years to get over that. And you know, there was no way I was going to get a degree during that period. There was no way I was really going to do much of anything productive.
At the time that I started, it was a non-traditional student was not the norm. Now it is the norm for just about everything. So there are all the stigmas that were connected with a non-traditional student when I came, like, you know, they're old. You know, it's not there anymore.
Non-traditional students, and when we say that, we're talking really about your student who is an independent student by the U.S. Department of Ed, someone who is 24 years or older. They follow the same policy and procedure as filling out the FAFSA. It's a little bit different for them because they're not reporting most of the time parent income. They're only reporting their own income. And if they're married, they're reporting joint income for both husband and wife. But for those students, they can apply also for merit aid that's out there. have some aid that's not available to them, such as keys money that other in-state students might have available to them. But we would definitely suggest that they fill out the application as soon as possible, just like a freshman or any other continuing student, to see if they're available for the aid that's out there, as far as grant aid and also institutional aid.
If you really want it, it's available to you. You know, you have to make the decision that you're going to do it. And you know, that's really the biggest step. You know, if that's the biggest thing that held me back forever, was just making the decision to actually go and do it. I thought about it all the time, but it was something that I thought about, and I thought about kind of angrily, like, you know, somehow something wasn't fair. There was always something that wasn't going on that was right. It wasn't the right time. I didn't have the right money. I didn't have the right connections, whatever. You know, when I really got down to looking at it, it was all, you know, excuses and things like that. When I finally decided to get into it and go in, I discovered that, you know, that world is accessible to me.